Hi, this is Dr. Justin Marchegiani here, and today's talk's on how to plan your meals, how to create a meal, simple, efficient way, and also one of the biggest mistakes that I see in the paleo community. Even though you're eating good, this is a common mistake that I see with a lot of my patients. So, moving forward, let's talk about what it is you need to do to eat successfully. I use something called the food matrix. This is the derivation off of Rob Wolf's work, but really simple. It's protein, vegetables, fats, and herbs and spices. Really easy. You choose your protein with each meal. Protein and fat tend to come together if you're choosing an animal source. So you see chicken thighs, you see good quality fish, eggs, maybe a ribeye. You're going to have good quality protein and fat together in that meal. So you want to make sure you're getting good quality protein, vegetable, fat, and herbs and spices. So let's create a meal here. So let's take a look. Let's do ribeye, and we can go and we can do kale, maybe with some coconut oil. Then your fats are kind of already covered because it's in your protein, and then we're also cooking it in coconut oil, maybe the vegetable part. And then we can add some herbs and spices in there just to maybe season it to make it taste a little different. Maybe we use a good quality sea salt for a ribeye. I wouldn't recommend putting some cinnamon on there, maybe a little bit of curry, and a lot of the herbs can add antioxidants to it as well, and just mix it up so the same dish over and over again can be slightly different just by changing the spices. Now, one of the biggest problems I see in the paleo community is people will sometimes go too low fat. It's impervious, this whole low fat myth. Even when people start eating healthier and go to a paleo way of eating, they still sometimes, maybe accidentally or incidentally, go low fat. And we can see this with a chicken breast that's skinless. We may do good quality vegetables, maybe a little bit of olive oil on there, and some spice. And if you look at it, we have very, very low saturated fat levels in that meal, which may not be that good because an hour or two later you may be very, very hungry and craving more food, and this may cause you to go off your progress plan here because your blood sugar is dropping up and down and you have sweet cravings and you may eat some bad food. So really important that if let's say you're just having chicken breast, well, it's important we put some extra coconut oil on there as well, or even cut up some avocado or have a handful of nuts with it, as a lot of people do very well having protein and fat together, and then you can choose your vegetable as well. And I'll kind of give you some examples of how to do that, but in general, you're picking your proteins, your fats, and your carbs. You're going to either saute, bake, or grill your proteins. Be careful, don't burn them. That produces cancer-causing chemicals known as heterocyclic amines or polyaromatic hydrocarbons. Again, steam or saute your vegetables, ideally in fat. A lot of people do better cooking their vegetables just a little bit. Raw vegetables actually have less nutrition because your body has to spend extra time breaking down the fiber, which a lot of times it can't get to. So most people do well with a light sauteing or a light steaming. And again, add herbs to your dish, season it up. Again, each meal should have a combination of protein and vegetables. If your protein is lean, like we mentioned above, add some additional fat to that meal. Serve yourself a reasonable amount of food. Wait 5 minutes. It's about a 5-minute lag between your tummy talking to your brain. So if you're still hungry, serve yourself again. You should feel comfortably full, not stuffed, but comfortably full. You should be eating enough foods where you're sustained for 4 or 5 hours. And if you're not sustained for 4 or 5 hours, one, you're probably not eating enough calories and or just not eating enough protein or fat at that meal. So again, let's look at this in application here. Well, we're going to add in some chicken breast, we're going to add in some cauliflower here and some broccoli. And remember, because that's chicken breast, we're going to this is cauliflower mash, not potato. So I'm not cheating here, folks. So you're going to have some maybe grass-fed butter or coconut oil in there. Maybe you put some coconut oil or grass-fed butter on there. And then you have your good quality chicken that may have been sauteed on the stovetop in some coconut oil. So you have some good fat in all the vegetables. And that may be enough. If you need a little extra fat, feel free and you can do chicken thighs instead. And just be careful about doing too little. Some people will do what looks like on a food diary a really good meal, but it's just too small in proportion. So make sure you're getting enough calories. Again, hold up about the palm of your hand or about the size of your fist. That's about 4 ounces of meat. That's about 30 grams of protein. And make sure you match that up with your carbohydrate as well. So again, round 2 here, we could have some really good wild-caught salmon wild Alaskan sockeye salmon. We could have some asparagus that's steamed with some grass-fed butter on there. We could have some mixed spring green salad with some olive oil and white wine vinegar with some honey mustard on there. That could make a really good salad. That's a really good balanced meal. We have good fats, good proteins, relatively lower carbohydrate. If you're doing more CrossFit or you're more active, you may want to add a sweet potato in there. That kind of gives you a good idea. And then don't make that big mistake of going too low calorie or too lean on the fat side. Be careful of that. And then also, if you're on the go, if you're, one of those people that just can't find yourself being able to get breakfast in the morning, well, there's no excuse to miss breakfast. It's really important that you stabilize that blood sugar. One of the most important things your hormones are responsible for is stabilizing blood sugar. So if you're missing meals and especially skipping breakfast when you're really stressed, you're putting a ton of stress on your endocrine as well as your adrenal glands. So again, you can always do some grass-fed whey protein or some high-quality pea protein here. You can add a little bit of coconut milk, high fat, not the light version, but some good fat in there. You can do a little bit of frozen berries, blend it up, and you're good to go. And there's no excuse to miss a meal. But the goal is food always trumps supplements, so if you can do food, that's great. But if you're going to miss it, a good protein shake, high-quality fats and proteins, and a little bit of carbs, you're good to go. This is Dr. Justin here signing off. I hope you found this video useful. For any questions, feel free and check below the video link for more information on myself as well as my websites. Thanks. Have a great day.